This will hardly be cosmetic, but I've got some things to explain. This is that zanjarita, which I have now planted as a garden. I've used lid tops to tubs, drilled holes with a hole saw in them for plants that I got, and then I weighted them down with tires. I have a lot of tires that I got as kind of a, what do you call it, a dowry, when my father-in-law had them on his farm, and I still have them. And I'll probably bring other ones over to weight them down. We'll see if they'll survive. Now I fenced it, but I don't have juice in the fence yet. I may do that today to keep the pigs off it. It's not so much that they'd eat it, it's just that they'd nose around and move stuff around and damage things. All right, now that spool, that'll be at the center of my water wheel, but the water wheel itself will be much narrower. That's maybe 3 feet wide. The water wheel itself will maybe be at most 1 foot, maybe 8 inches wide. I don't know. It would look at the moment as if there's a very meager supply of water. But that's because I haven't gone up to unblock all the blockage that was done by this flooding, this high water that we've had recently. I'm going to do that later. And all those blocks are there because I'm going to raise, I've explained this before, I'm going to raise the lower bank, the breast of that sluice or a head race or canal about 8 inches along there to get as much height as I can. Now right underneath me here, I'm standing in Joyce hut, is where the water turns a 90 degree. And those boards that are leaning up against the spool, I have lots of them. And they're going to be the sluice, something easily built from when I know the height from here, which I have to do a bunch of work here before I'm ready, to there. And the water wheel will probably have to be higher. It might have to be higher than I would like, so that the center of it is going to be a longer diameter than the edges, than the rings, the sides. The sides I'm going to use like bull gears to drive a little tire that'll ride on it and an axle to speed things up. So the water wheel itself is going to be in the middle of that. As I say, this isn't very cosmetic because I've just taken that area from being underneath 2 fallen down faux cuts that I started and stopped. I drained it. I'm very ready to irrigate again whenever it's necessary, but it may not be necessary for quite a while. And then we'll see how my plants do under those conditions. I was way down there, and I'm up here to improve the water supply, correct the water supply really. We've had this heavy rain and flooding, and you see it's a breach here, but this is not a big deal at all. The problem, I'm sure, is up there in the woods. I'll show you soon. But I wanted you to see how that soil right there, that yellow soil, that's clay, obviously. And I think, I'm becoming sure of it, that this area right here was used as a clay mine, a clay bank. And I think that there is almost no topsoil on top of that clay, which explains a lot about the history of its plant life there, but also tells me a lot about what I can and should do with that area. So I wanted you to see that clay bank. Talk about a hard pan. Down there is where I was, and you can see here's my water supply, but that's how much is coming from this weir. That's where most of the water is going. And that's, in a way, it's fine at the moment because I'm not ready for all that water downstream yet. But I will open it up, what's blocked, to get as much water going as I easily can at the moment. It helps with the design of the water wheel. Well, that's been just a little bit of touching up with so much water. It was so much fun to play with it. And this is how much is now going by here at this weir. The water wheel down there and the system to get to it can't handle that big a supply right now. But I'll let it break out where it must. And it keeps all of us in mind of what's the design here. There was no pond at all here. If some of you look back far enough in the archives of this channel, you'd see when I started here there was nothing but some wet rocks and a water snake here. I call it the confluential weir. Weir. Because there's a stream coming from over there. There's a stream coming from over there. The two flow together, it makes it a confluence. And I make it a weir. So now I'm going to head back.